Welcome to another episode of Redesigning Your Relationships Live. I'm one of your hosts, Geovanna Burgess White, with my co-host,
Yvette Valdenegro. Hello.
Oh, and I love doing these live. I forgot to turn off my fan. Please hold.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, welcome to part 2 of our 3-part series on turning resolutions into results. And we hope that you enjoyed the first part, and this is part 2. And as promised, it's going to be just as delightful as part 1.
Yes. So if you didn't watch part 1, you need to go back. It's a little bit longer than our mini series, but it was so much fun. And this is our last episodes of season 3. I can't believe we're in mid-December. It's just going to be, we're super excited about 2024. So go back, watch part 1, and then next week we'll have the last part of the series. And then at the end of the month, for those of you guys who know us, watch this, we have our end of the year celebration. We'll be in our pajamas, be a little tipsy. Last year we had some behind the scenes difficulties. It's great. It's so much fun. We love it. So here we go.
Resolutions. Okay, so part 1 was all about where the heck did they even come from? Why are we even starting these things? And what do people really stress out about? What are they setting their intentions on? And we learned that the number one thing is always related to health.
Yes.
And then the surprise was the number 5 in that list was something to do with their career ambition or doing something. I took that as something's not right, or I really want to increase my availability for my career, which I will say this, we didn't mention it in part 1. So part 2, I'm going to say this. Interesting how the top 3 are what I feel like so many of us focus in on in an unhealthy way. Then number 2 being money, which we always say your relationship with time, yourself, time and money, which, wow, there it is. And then there's the self aspect of what am I doing? That really is purpose. Like, where am I going? Ambition is nothing other than I'm trying to move and get to some location or do something different, or I'm really excited about this, but what? What is it?
I would love to see the top 3 New Year's resolutions be self, time, and money, because technically that's really what it is. Like, really focusing on what the self, time, and money look like. We would love that. We're not crazy. Maybe in another year, we'll move the statistics up, and the people actually follow through with them.
Yes.
So today, why we fail. Because if you remember part 1, we're not going to give you the stats. Go back to part 1 because the stats are crazy on how many people start the first week, the first month, and then by the end of the year. But why do we fail? Number 1. Am I reading them, or are you going to read them?
Well, we could just talk about them. I mean, it's...
Okay, I'll just go 1, 2, 3. I'll just say 1, 2, 3 when time. What we want is way too big. The change is way too big, which is why most people fail within the first week and the first month. We don't ask why we want the change, and we are not really ready for the change. So it's like we're saying, we put it all on paper, we write it all down. They're definitely not whatsoever realistic and achievable. Like, that's, you guys can't even get out of bed and take a shower and brush your hair
and be on time.
Yeah, but you want to do all these other things. So,
which goes back to okay, so let's just take the exercise thing, right? So the typical person, oh my gosh, here's the deal. I want to lose 50 pounds. That's a lot. It took a long time for someone to get to that point if they feel that way, or maybe there's a health condition. I don't know. I don't want to leave anybody out. But why is it that we think that starting on a certain date, January 1st, all of a sudden, whatever it is, whether it's something in my body that's not acting correctly, that's causing weight or a disease or something that's happening, or it's just a habit, an unhealthy habit, what makes any of us think that we just wake up one day and our mindsets, our motivation, and why we're going to do something just 100% changes outside of, like we talked about last time, some huge life circumstance, which let's just be real, usually it's not a pretty one.
No.
You know, and which causes us to think all over again, oh my gosh, what am I really doing right now? It's great. That's so much pressure. And then it's like you go up with, I'm going to do this within 1 week, which we saw last time, or last part 1. Within 1 week, you crash, you don't, and then you almost feel worse than when you started. It's kind of like the yo-yo dieting. Someone can lose all this weight, then they really don't change their patterns and behaviors. And the minute they get off the quote unquote diet, they go right back into their same habits. more often enough, they even gain more weight than before. So take that same analogy with our New Year's resolutions. Oh, I want to do this certain thing. You get super excited, then you crash. And then now you're even more depressed. You feel even worse about yourself because you're like, once again, I failed because it was so dang big. Wasn't just thinking, like you said last time, baby steps, or, hey, what is the motivation? Maybe I just begin here. This is obtainable. This is something I can actually do.
Yeah. And you need to go back to the first episode because I gave a perfect example of my exercise journey, but there's so much more involved. It wasn't just like, oh, I woke up and did this, and it's like, and I'm only like in month 1 of it. So it's a lot. It is a lot. And that's coming from someone who I feel like I am very disciplined and I do have a routine, but it's so many factors on the why. And then also knowing and giving myself grace that as much as I want to be like, I'm going to go twice a week and I'm always like, I'm still working through the time and the season of life and all the, so I'm giving myself time and grace. I'm not going to just wake up one morning and go, boom, I'm in, I'm ready to go. So go back to episode 1, listen to that. But it does go back to also the 10, top 10 resolutions that Disney gave, which we absolutely love. That's just why you have to go back and watch it. Those were all fun resolutions. And we, like, if you already went and watched it, you already saw the show notes, you know that we gave you some great examples of real life fun examples. But that's what we need to do. We need the feeling of what do you want next year? And you don't have to start in January. You don't. Like, first of all, everybody knows the first week of January, we're all kind of hungover and tired.
Recovering.
Yeah, recovering. So like start when you want to start. Really, honestly, this month, just start writing down, like, how do you want to feel next year? What do you want to do next year? Like, be like things that light you up and make you happy. And for, if you know us, heard us, if you can't do that because you're like, that's too hard, write down what you no longer want to feel, what you no longer want to do, what you no longer want to allow. And then take time and go, what's the opposite of that? Because I promise you, just that exercise alone, that's going to make you feel a lot better. Are you ready for our next clip? Should I let
Yeah, that's my favorite clip out of all this.
All right, I'm going to let Tech know that we are ready for the next one. Let's see. All right.
I'll just set this up. This is, again, someone else's version of discussions that can occur between friends about New Year's resolutions.
All right, can you see it?
Yeah, I see everything. I don't just see there you go.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say no divorces in 99.
But your divorce isn't even final yet.
Just the one divorce in 99. You know what? I am going to be happy this year. I am going to make myself happy.
Do you want us to leave the room? Or?
Every day, I am going to do one thing I have never done before. That, my friends, is my New Year's resolution.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mine is to pilot a commercial jet.
That's a good one too, Phoebes. Now all you have to do is find a plane load of people whose resolution is to plummet to their deaths.
Maybe your resolution should be not to make fun of your friends, especially the ones who may soon be flying you to Europe for free on their own plane.
She has a better chance of sprouting wings and flying up your nose than you do of not making fun of us.
In fact, I'll bet you $50 you can't go the whole year without making fun of us. All right, you know what? Better get a week.
I'll take that bet, my friend. And you know what? Paying me the $50 can be the new thing you do that day. And it starts right now.
All right, my New Year's resolution is to learn how to play guitar.
Oh.
Really? How come?
Well, you know those special skills I have listed on my resume? Well, I would love it if one of those was true.
Do you want me to teach you? I'm a great teacher.
Oh, really? Who have you taught?
Well, I taught me, and I loved me.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, thanks, Phoebes.
Oh, look, Blair forgot her glasses. And she's going to really be needing these to keep an eye on that boyfriend, who, from what I hear, needs to keep his stapler in his desk drawer, if you know what I'm talking about. Hey, Rach, maybe your resolution should be to gossip less. What? I don't gossip.
No.
Well, maybe sometimes I find out things, or I hear something and I pass that information on. You know, kind of like a public service. Doesn't mean I'm a gossip. I mean, would you call Ted Koppel a gossip? Well, if Ted Koppel talked about his coworkers' botched boob jobs, yeah, I would. Well, they were like this.
Hey. I just asked that girl out. Nice.
Nice, yeah. Is that part of your resolution, your new thing for today?
Yes, it is. See?
Elizabeth Hornswoggle?
That's right. Elizabeth Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle.
You okay, Chandler? Something funny about that name?
No, I just think that maybe I've heard it somewhere before.
Oh, really? Where? Somewhere funny, I'll bet.
Hey.
Oh, guess what? I have a date with Elizabeth Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle. Oh, this must be killing you.
All right, see you later.
All right, Phoebes. I am ready for my first lesson.
Okay. Oh, no, you don't touch the guitar. No. First you learn here, then you learn here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Lesson 1, chords. Now, I don't know the actual names of the chords, but I made up names for the way my hand looks while I'm doing them. So then, this is bear claw. Okay, turkey leg, and old lady.
What an interesting approach to guitar instruction. You know, some might find it amusing. I myself find it regular.
Oh, I love that. That was so good.
So even Friends recognizes that people do these crazy. Okay, and shout out to Chandler Bing. Oh, precious Chandler.
Did you put that music on?
No,
Oh my god.
but how timely, as we were talking about Chandler.
No. Oh, I almost started crying. I was like, oh my god, you have music. Oh.
No, but I mean, think of how much he really, our generation especially, everybody knows who he is and how much joy. Just even watching that, I'm like, he was so good. That
I
whole
know. For the we
Dynamic.
never do video clips in the last, and I haven't watched the third one either. So in part 3 next week, you have to stay tuned for part 3 because we'll have another video. But yeah, like you said, it's those. First of all, doing something you haven't done every single day for 300. That's 365 new things. I think that's fantastic. But man, talk about, but that's the pressure, like the pressure of waking up and going, okay, what am I doing today? And also that's a lot of irregularity, which could also do the opposite. Like some people go to the extremes, and we've seen that. It's like you can't do that to your mind, body, and soul. We go back to self, right? Everything goes back to the relationship you have with yourself. So the reason why we're doing this series is not just because it's the end of the year, but we really do want to be here to help you and like rethink. We're not saying don't have New Year's resolutions. Like you need to do what's best for you, but going back to the basics and the feeling of what do you really want? That's it. It really is that easy. Not what you think others want. What is society telling you? What is the magazine? What is the gym? Bye. All that's noise. Just noise. It's messy. It's like, what do you want? And that exercise that you do. Yes. Go.
Ask yourself why. Just keep asking yourself why. I mean, look at Chandler's example. It was a challenge, and how crazy he thinks he's going to change his personality just because of a challenge. Obviously, we know he's going to fail. There's no way Chandler Bing cannot say something funny for the rest of his life, right? But that's how we think. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, I can do this. I'm going to just totally. No, again, it took many years of your unveiling to be who you are. But the great thing is that doesn't mean you can't change something. You absolutely can. But give yourself grace. Ask yourself the motivation, because your motivation is going to be your inspiration. And you have to believe in yourself. You literally have to believe in who you are and that you can do it.
I love it. And don't feel pressured to have to start at the beginning of January. Do what you do, you boo. We're here to tell you, you do you. Well, we'll be back next week for part 3. And then we'll be wrapping up season 3. Oh my God, 2 more episodes. Super excited. If you're watching us for the first time, welcome. If you're listening for the first time, welcome. Anywhere you're watching or listening, there are links. You can schedule a free virtual connect with us. We are all about helping you out. Sometimes it's just good to vent, especially this time of the year. If you just want to get on, we have an amazing little questionnaire. We want to help you just really create a healthy relationship with self And then we have tons of tools, resources on our website. So if you just want to reach out to us, we have books, we have other podcasts, again, blogs, tons of things for you. Let us know how we can help you this holiday season. Until next week.